Yeah. Yeah, I got a question for you about that. There was once the fairness doctrine, which is like
Fairness
uh,
doctrine.
is yeah. So I'm looking it up on Wikipedia to make sure I have the facts. It was introduced in 1949 and discontinued in 1987. But it was a policy for the promoted by the FCC, and the basic idea was to like for media to present like a fair and balanced um, uh, perspective, right? So to give like equal time to opposing sides, which seems like like that would promote a better, like a more informed discussion. Give
Mm,
people like a more holistic idea of a topic. But then I guess there's also implications for free speech. Like,
sure.
should there be a regulation saying, like, dictating what you can and cannot put out, in a media company?
Right. Um, is your question, what do I think about it?
Yeah, like I don't know if you have you put any thought in like I don't know if you've heard of this or not, or
I'm not familiar, honestly.
uh,
I think, yeah, it's a double edged sword, right? I mean, it's my general take is I am not inclined to have the federal government or its agencies to legislate these kinds of things. Um,
yeah,
Even though it's like, oh, it feels good, right? Like, of course, we want everybody to be equal and fair, and we want to show everything. I don't think the government needs to get involved, um, but I can see the point. I can see the point where it's coming from about why you might want that. I think my general response is my answer to uh, CNN saying something ridiculous that is and sensationalizing the truth is, well, let's also have other outlets that are maybe doing the same thing on the other side, right? That's why, listen, I don't have any love for Fox News, but in terms of the major, um, the major media outlets, Fox News is almost uniquely the only conservative skewed, you know, major news outlet that's on the level of like a CNN or MSNBC or whatever. And so you might you might not like Fox News, and I don't particularly like it, but I don't really want it to go away because there needs to be the other. You have to be able to get the other side of the story somehow. And so some people, and I think it's probably less of a big deal for maybe a younger generation because it's easy to seek that stuff out online. And so, like, I don't need to watch Fox News or CNN or any of that stuff because, first of all, I don't really like their format, but um, I can get a better picture by going to other sources. But if you're maybe the baby boomer generation, maybe you're used to putting on the nightly news every night, and you watch it for an hour, and that's your routine. And you got to pick one of them. You're gonna pick one of those major news outlets, and so like, what do you watch, right? And so generally people who are more conservative are going to watch Fox News over CNN. And they're going to be skewed by the opinions and the stories that are presented on that news program. And same thing for the other side of the coin. People, if you're a hardcore, bleeding liberal, you're not going to watch Fox News because you're going to get pissed off because you're going to say, well, this isn't true or that isn't true, and you want to watch something that's more aligned with your values, and that's fine. But I mean, in both sides of that coin, whether you're liberal or conservative, you're still getting the skewed version, right? So I don't think it's the role of the federal government, certainly at the federal government, or the FCC, to legislate that kind of stuff. I think you leave it up. I mean, part of the First Amendment includes a free press. It's up to you to be able to do what you want. I don't think you want to interfere with that. You certainly don't want to get to a point like in Russia or North Korea where you have state controlled media and you're controlling the entire narrative. That's way, way, way worse than having biased news sources. you know? So I don't know what the right answer is, I suppose, but I guess I'm not surprised that it was repealed. And in general, I probably am not um, in favor of something like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough like because it has a noble had a noble purpose, right?
Right.
Um and I mean, how would society be different if people were getting more like balanced news from wherever source they're, looking at? But yeah, like what is the proper role of the government? Should the government be dictating what people are saying, even like in a journalistic institution? And I mean, nowadays too, I mean, broadcast license is kind of antiquated
Yeah.
to a large degree. It seems like it would be kind of very difficult to enforce since anybody can, put anything online. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that one. I feel like maybe like the government shouldn't be. Maybe it's the implementation. Like it's not really the role of the government, but it's also like the moral thing to do is if you're going to be reporting something, to like report that story faithfully, like and fully, and report both sides of it.
Right.
But just because it would be like the right thing to do doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen.